Here's an image of Sir Walter Raleigh. He was one of those who established Roanoke Colony, Roanoke Island in North Carolina, as this pirate staging area. In 1585, the British established a military base on Roanoke Island as the first colony established to be a pirate's haven. Raleigh is a favorite of the Queen, that is Elizabeth, and hates Catholics and Spain. And Raleigh spends a lot of his own money to attract settlers. He really needs it to be a port with a lot of supplies to supply these pirates who are going out and attacking the Spanish. And he promises these settlers gold, crops, and silk, all very much unrealistic. In total, Roanoke is a fiasco. The colonists get there late in the season, too late to plant any crops. They quickly develop a dependence on the Native Americans' corn. The English and the Native Americans quickly get into conflict, English continuing to take from the Native Americans without trying to be self-sufficient, and by 1587, Roanoke is gone. I'm not quite sure what happened to them. Here are some images of Roanoke Colony. You see in the upper right-hand corner the lost colony of Roanoke Island and its comparison to where Jamestown Colony is established a little bit later. And you can see why it's such a good place for pirates, because it is quite hidden. You can't have direct access there from the Atlantic. It has this bay, and if there's enough trees and shrubs on that bay, any colony on that island would be hidden from ships sailing past. So this is a wonderful place to hide, but it also has pretty good access if you had a lookout to go then attack some ships. Now, there are lots and lots of theories about what happened to the Roanoke colony. About 20 years after they had all disappeared, descriptions of Native Americans include several that suggest that there were Native Americans in the area that were whiter than other Native Americans and knew something of Christianity and English. So that's one theory, that the settlers at Roanoke Colony ran away and joined the Native Americans. We also know that English goods were found quite far away, many, many miles, and some of which belonged to those at Roanoke. So some of the goods of those at Roanoke traveled many miles away. How? We're not quite sure. One of the Native American tribal leaders in the area, actually Pocahontas' father, and we'll get to that, says the group was destroyed by other Indians. And we're not quite sure if that's accurate or whether that reflects some of the political conflicts that happened with Jamestown, actually. The Spanish continued to search for settlement, so we're pretty sure that the Spanish never found them and attacked them. And tree rings suggest that those were the worst years for drought in North Carolina in about 800 years. So they could have just all died natural deaths. So what happened to them? They might have been destroyed by Native Americans. They could have been incorporated by Native Americans, adopted into Native American lineages. And there's a DNA project going on right now to find out how many descendants from Native Americans in this area may have been connected to the descendants of relatives of the Roanoke settlers in England. There's a theory that they tried to make it back to England and died en route, or that they died of starvation and fell prey to cannibalism. Now there is a couple suggestions that they traveled to another colony. That was that first slide, the word Croatoan, which was one of the few remaining pieces of evidence left at Roanoke Colony when they came back in 1587. And that's the name of a neighboring island. But whether that meant that people from that island attacked them or whether they went to that island, we have no idea. After this, the English were not deterred. This was just the first of many attempts to establish a colony in North America.